Good morning and afternoon, no matter where you're at. We appreciate you guys for being here today. This is the Cannabis Testing Podcast. I believe this is episode 4, but I could be mistaken. Either way, folks, it is a very special episode. We've got Gio here, the general manager of Dr. GreenRx. Today's episode is powered by Infinite Chemical Analysis Labs, aka Infinite Cal. They are your premier testing lab for potency testing, terpenes testing, pesticide analysis, heavy metals, mold, mildew, all the things to get you a compliant product. Infinite Cal is a great choice and option for you guys. They are our trusted partner. We've got Gio here today, GM of Dr. GreenRx in Vista, California. You guys are a dispensary. It's a coastal city. It's an older community. It's diverse. There's a lot of weed smokers. Gio, welcome to the show. How you living? What did you smoke yet today? How's it rocking? How's your Friday going?
It's going pretty well, my man. Haven't smoked yet. I usually don't until later on in the day, but
Nice. You got to keep it professional and classy, man.
yes,
I love it, especially when you're leading a team there. Joe, you've mentioned offline. You've been at that. You've been in the space for 5 years or so now. That's considered OG adult use retail here, man. It hasn't been easy. How did you get into the cannabis retail? What were you doing before?
So I'm actually born and raised Texan. I moved out here in 2013. I was going to school. I was a server, and I have always used cannabis. I was always into uh, trying to get into business. But back in the day when I first moved here, it was still kind of Prop 215. And when I was going to school, I was going for nursing, and I didn't want to risk going and losing my degree. So I never got into the business. But as soon as it turned recreational in San Diego, I applied. I got hired. I was there for about a year and a half.
Wow.
It's just history. Give me 1
The
second.
rest is history from there, huh?
Supposedly, I don't know. Sorry
Oh,
about
and
that.
also too, for those of you viewers watching, when you're the GM of a dispensary and you're rocking and rolling and you're working on shift, vendors are going to be coming and going. His staff is going to be coming and bugging him. And I told Gio, was like, "Yo, this is going to happen. Is that going to be okay? Like, I got to run the show here." And I was like, "Yes, I want people to have a view into what it's like being there at the dispensary. It is nonstop, Gio. What is your shift like? What is a day in the life of a GM at a Southern California dispensary, man? What is it like for you there?"
It's honestly, I love my job. It's great. I think that more and more people are getting into not only just using cannabis, but the benefits of it. And for us, we've always strived to maintain customer service, but also education. That's super important for us.
Education is huge in cannabis. We all have our own experiences with it, but when it comes to selling things, there's so many items in a lot of these companies' menus, right? One of ours is this company called Trees. They use a lot of data, and they integrate with all these different brands and retailers across the country or whatever it is, right? All this different technology. And my understanding of, after working with them a lot, is like these bud tenders and your staff, you have to check people in. You need an ID. It's got to be a compliant ID, right? Legal,
Yeah,
state or
valid
current,
government
valid,
information.
all that stuff. And then their info kind of gets stored in this profile, and then they shop around the store. Some stores have iPads, some stores just have a person and they kind of like take notes and they walk you up to the counter and show you stuff. What is the current retail experience like at Dr. GreenRx? Are you guys one of these Apple stores of weed these days, or are you guys more of a personalized one-on-one with more or less technology? What is it like there with y'all?
Bring it back. Sorry, give me 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. What is it?
Well, CJ's here. Do you want to talk to Brandon?
Paperwork. Is it just your paperwork? That's for you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, man.
You're chilling, dude. Real time, folks. Come on, man. Busy, busy.
Yeah. So, what was the question again? My bad.
So, with what is the current retail experience like for you guys at Dr. GreenRx? Are you guys using technology? Is it the Apple stores of weed experience? Is it more bud tender one-on-one? What's it like when we visit your store?
So originally we started off as a small collective. We have 4,000 square feet of showroom, but originally we were only using 1,000, and it
Okay.
was more of the Apple aesthetic where everything's out in the open, and then you kind of just shop and grab and go.
Mm-hmm.
However, doing that, we realized that their theft is real, and a lot of people would try it. So when we ended up expanding and using the rest of the building, we turned it back into the olden days, I guess, where everything's behind the counter. We still have plenty of samples to show people and showcase what we have, but no more handhelds or grabbing anymore. It's just it's better for us to do the nice aesthetic, but to take care of you ourselves.
I like being taken care of. When someone walks me around, holds onto the things, I don't got to carry it and potentially drop these glass jars, or there's nothing worse than carrying around a 6 pack of weed drinks that are in a glass and it falls through the container when you're walking to your car or you're walking around the store. It's so frustrating. I've done it multiple times over the years. I enjoy some solid help. Leave me alone at the grocery store, but help me with my weed, please.
Yeah, and that's what we love to do is we want to make sure that we're not pushing anything on anybody. We want to make sure that we're helping everyone and giving them what they need. So for us,
Mhm.
we really enjoy it. My staff loves to be able to help people, especially on the one-on-one.
How important is THC to customers in 2025 from your perspective? You've been around, you're medical, a lot more adult use and rec customers, aka tourists, come around from places. But now weed is legal in a lot of different areas, so it's not like everyone is a rookie that comes into these dispensaries. That might be a first timer for your store, but they're not all rookies at buying weed. How important is THC in your opinion in 2025? Not in your opinion, but from the perspective of what you're noticing about other customers and these people.
Well, you'd actually be really surprised. A lot of people that come in, it is their first time. I think that what separates us from the stores around us is that Um, we are the only mom and pop shop here. The owners are we're locally owned and operated.
Oh wow, okay,
So
cool.
for us, people that come in have said that it's their first time. They've gone to other places and they're kind of like get in, get out, trying to get them to go. Whereas we will take the time to educate you, give you everything that you're asking for as far as details. For us, what we've seen is that in the beginning, when it was first going from Prop 215 to legal licenses, a lot of the customers were more stuck in the past to where like they want the highest THC, they don't care about terpenes, and they want the lowest price, right? So it's definitely been a struggle. And then as far as like getting things tested now, being stringent to going to certain places, you're starting to see that things are actually being what they are as far as percentage, and people
Yeah,
are.
that's one of my next little point here, Gio. Do you feel like there's more trust in the market today, April 11th, as we go into 420 in terms of these numbers? Can these customers count on what we see on the packaging?
Well, what's important to remember is that when you're testing, they do allow you a variance. It's like 5 to 10, right, percent. So what most people are doing is just pushing that higher percentage because that's allowed. And some of the people that really are trying to get people to understand that it's not just about the THC percentage, it's the terpenes and the cannabinoids in the plant that make you feel the way you feel when you smoke. So for us, we try to push that on people all the time, but
Mhm.
you're going to get those people that don't care and they just want what they want.
I've been smoking weed since the 50s,
Mhm.
60s, 70s, and 80s. What do you young whippersnappers really know?
That's
I've
exactly what it is.
Come on, man.
But there are some people that they really is their first time. They're well in their 60s or whatever, and they need it for sleep or they need it for back pain, whatever the cause may be. And they do really care and take the time to listen to what we have to say, and then moving forward, also relay the information going on to others.
Smoking weed is one way to consume, folks. What are your thoughts on 70% or more of people are using weed for sleep? Do you feel like that might be, is that accurate? Do you feel like a lot of people are coming into the store for sleep and requesting
Oh
sleep
yeah,
products? Did you see a notice or at least like hear potentially like a shift in that regard?
we
People
did.
don't just
Yeah,
smoke to get high. They don't just eat edibles to get high. They're using it for sleep now. A lot,
yeah. I
most of it.
mean, most of our sleep stuff would be more like geared towards edibles or tablets, things like that. And we do have a very, very high clientele that is specifically looking for sleep, not necessarily trying to get high. but more along the lines of having trouble with sleep and staying asleep.
I see you with the Luigi hat. Are you a fan, or are you just rocking some merch? Because Luigi, it's a hot name. It's trendy right now. In
Yeah, but
addition to the weed being good.
it is. Yeah, we I just went to Hall of Flowers and I met them there, and they were really cool people, and I liked the products that they had. We wish they had a little bit more, but as far as what they did have, it was nice. The uh, quality was great, so I always try to rock the brands that I mess with.
I love that, man. And as somebody who's had a brand in the space before, it was always dope to pull up and see the homies rocking our merch. We didn't ever really have a ton of stuff. Respect my region, the last few years, but it means a lot when it when you are doing that and you are building a brand to see these people that rock with you and support that. And so I appreciate that energy from you, rocking and supporting the brands that you like. Now this is where we get to some of the fun stuff. It is basically playoff basketball season. You've been in the game for a minute. I've known you at least 3 years. I can think about 2022, maybe three to now. Um, the weed brands in California, they've changed over time. The product's gotten better, the product's gotten worse, the strains have changed. Rosin became the hottest thing ever. Hash holes, the
Yeah,
hash hole became everyone's universe there for a second. You couldn't smoke a joint, and if it was a hash hole, if it wasn't a hash hole, you were getting judged there for like a solid year. I felt like. Um,
yeah, and then everybody
who's
starts
your
to.
starting five? Top five, starting five, whatever way you want to rock it, Geo. Who's got the
Uh,
best premium cannabis in California?
there's a lot of really good brands out there. I wouldn't say that I necessarily have pick one or the other
Yeah, of
because
course. That's
again,
why I give you five choices, because then it's like, okay, cool. You can like the people for different things. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
in no specific order, these are just the brands that I typically use. Would be Bosky, Blem, CBX. I like Cam is really good, but there's also some other quality flowers that people sleep on. Like Canna Trust is a really good brand.
Yeah.
The Wave Rider, like I feel like people always try to be like, oh, this is the best brand, and it's like, well, there's stuff that's just as good that isn't as expensive.
There is this balance between you can get, and I'm a sports guy, right? So I can go get a really, really solid shoe from any brand. I could go to just go get some running shoes, and I can go running, and I can run, and I can get a great score. But then there's these, then there's the Nikes, and there's the Jordans, then there's these other things, and it's like sometimes you're willing to pay more because that brand, you attach something to it.
Very good.
Do you feel like the customers attach quality to THC? Do you feel like they attach a price point to THC? Is there some weird balance of connectivity there that might cause some kind of imbalance overall on understanding weed? Because it's like
Okay.
it's weed, but it's really a product at the same time.
It is, yeah. Sorry, the owner's talking to me in my ear.
We got real time communications, folks.
We don't pay for the Network. They do. We only reimburse them for the last scan of the work permit.
Good time for me to shout out our sponsor, folks. We're only going to be here for about 10, 15 more minutes. So it's going to be a short episode for Gio because he's blessing us with some real time. We wanted to, like I said, we wanted to give you guys an in real time view and perspective of what it's like being a general manager, what it's like being at a dispensary. It's busy. You got vendors going on. You got meetings. You got the owner in his ear. Look, he got the little G14 classified thing. He's serious, dude. They're rocking it, and it takes that. It takes communication for
Yeah, it
all that
should
kind
be
of
like
stuff, folks. So
10 but we don't
big shout out
reimburse
to our
them.
sponsor,
Yeah.
Infinite Chemical Analysis Labs, for helping us to do this, to helping us promote this culture, promote this awareness. Gio, when it comes to bud tenders, talk to me a little bit about what do you guys do? How do you train your bud tenders, and what do you guys do to prepare them to combat this THC dominance request? Because that's got to be the number one thing. Indica
It
sativa
is.
hybrid, and I need 30%, right?
It is, yeah. Typically, we have brands that we can get that have those high percentages. But what we try to, again, education is really important for us. We have a staff training every Thursday. A vendor will come and talk to them about their brand, where it's from, how it's made, what sets
That's
them apart
awesome.
from companies. Aside from that, we're also on an application we sign them up with when they get hired, and they're able to watch videos and learn more about brands that we carry, brands that we don't carry,
Hell yeah.
and
What
they
what
get
what
paid.
application is that? Are you willing to share?
Yeah, it's called Leaf VIP.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For the bartenders to learn and be able to get their knowledge up.
Yeah, not only do they get to learn, but they also get paid for every video that they watch directly to.
Wow. How cool is that, man? When you can have consistent education and growth and then translate that into communication with your patients and your customers, that probably leads to some kind of form of success and good ROI, I would imagine.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, not only are they learning, but they're getting paid, so they're more inclined to do it.
They care about their
Um,
job a little bit more if they can make a little bit more money. Let's go.
exactly, yeah. And for us, you know, when we bring somebody on, we try to hire for longevity. We want to make sure that you want to be in the industry, that it's a passion of yours. It's not like we're not one of those companies that's just going to toss and turn people, you know. So for us, the employees that we have here, they'll even tell you themselves, they're like weed nerds, is what they call them
Yeah.
themselves, because they are so into it. They deep dive. They watch videos on their own. They bring up the things that sometimes we don't even realize, and it's awesome because since we are such a smaller team, they are constantly in communication with each other, teaching each other things, and then that corresponds to the customer.
When you've got a good culture and they're operating as a team, as I said, man, you're gonna start to see that translate into better communication, better relationships with your customers, with your community. When it comes to your staff, you called them weed nerds. That means you're like looking for a certain type of human to work with there. We want them to be educated. We want them to be experienced, knowledgeable, but also they got to try new stuff. They got to be willing to explore new products, right? And you
Yes,
guys have
and
the
no.
education. Say, oh, I'm sorry. Say that.
I say yes and no. Sometimes, you know, it's really great when you don't have to train somebody as much. But that being said, sometimes, you know, they come in and they think they know it all. And
Mm.
so I actually prefer when they're green, is what we call them, where they have no experience so that they learn the way that we want them to learn. Especially if they're transitioning from Prop 215 to legal shop, they kind of have a lot of bad habits of what they're used to, versus working for the legal industry.
Do people? I mean, part of the testing for these products is pesticides and heavy metals and moisture and molds and all these different things, right? Uh, do people even ask about that, or they did pretty much just buy stuff?
You know, again, we try to show everyone everything that they're asking, teach them about the difference between terpenes and THC, and the difference between the two. Um,
But do
but I
they
would,
do they preemptively ask, or do you guys try to talk about it? Like,
there
are
are
you?
some people that will request like COAs and things like that,
Hmm.
and we're more than happy to show you, because everything we get obviously has a
Yeah,
COA.
you got your email stocked with COAs. I bet.
Yeah, well, they're all on metric, so we
Well,
just
there we
pulled
go. There
everything
we
on
go.
metric. So, but yeah, there are some people that come in and they are super prepared. They know what they want. They know what they're looking for. But then you know, there's also people that don't really care. They just want to smoke.
Best of both worlds in that case. Do you notice that the majority is just they just buy stuff and go? It's just customers in and out, or talking, and that those really just aren't even really issues or pain points. Do we? I guess the better part. Do people are even they even aware that this stuff goes into it? Like, does someone that buys these drinks or
The
these edibles,
majority
do
of
they even
them
ask?
are probably, I would say, unaware, but
Mm.
there are a select few that are, like I said, super into it, and they're worried about what they're ingesting.
Yeah.
So they do a little deep dive.
I'm over here to the side of me. I've got this really smelly weed that I broke down and ground up, and sitting in this weed is a moon rock, and it's so moist and wet and grossy. I kind of, it's almost like sticky putty, whatever, like wall tack. Like, I just have to think, like, what that over time is that, mold, mildew. I think about what's in it. Oh, does that grow over time? Do we as customers? I hadn't even thought about that until I'm just dealing with this right now in real time. Like, do people even care about this in the world of testing? Do these customers even care? What is the culture of cannabis consumerism? Most of it is they just don't know. It seems like they just buy. They've been buying weed. They're gonna buy more weed.
Yeah, for us, you know, what's really important is that, since we are a mom and pop shop, we're the last mom and pop shop in Vista. All these other big time corporations, what customers have seen is that they will go there and they get something, not realizing that they should look at the information that's on there as far as dates, expiration, how old is it, how long
Yeah,
has it been sitting.
freshness, ingredients, these various things.
And so what happens is these big corporations will buy thousands of thousands of dollars worth of product so that they can distribute it through their stores, but then they sit on it. And it's to get a better price. I understand that. But for us, we order very selectively so that we are always having fresh products daily.
Mhm. I
So,
think that's really important for your ordering cadence to be on point. How do you manage things like that, Gio?
for us, we order, like I said, very selective. We don't over order. We're lucky enough to have trees, which is a great POS. I think they're in like 49% of all dispensaries in California. And, it has a lot of analytics that are super easy to use. And once you get the hang of it, I mean, it's basically telling you what to order so
Hmm.
that you're not running out. And also, for us, we are very selective with what we bring on here. I know a lot of vendors will agree. But there's just a lot of people that want you to have these big orders, and for us, it's just not going to happen like that. We
It's
have been
tough,
in the
dude.
game
The
since
owners of these brands, Gio, they want us to hit not just the minimum order is like frustrating to them. They want to hit 5K, 10K, 15K every month, 30-day invoices, and have that cyclical balance happen. And that's just not the way it is anymore.
it isn't. And for us, we like to build partnerships with our vendors, which is why we have such a good relationship with them. Like I said, we're not one of these other stores because we order small. Everything in this store is paid for. We are a COD account. We don't put things on terms. So for us, I think that even though we're ordering small, you're always getting paid.
Yeah. I think that there is something to be said about growing incrementally and consistently with a true collaboration and partnership mindset versus capitalism, consumerism, grow, scale. Those things don't always align and have cohesion for everybody involved. A lot of risk in that second situation there. Gio, I really appreciate you taking the time. I got two questions left for you. If Dr. Green RX was going to do some kind of really cool event there in Vista, maybe it's music, maybe it's food, maybe it's cannabis, and you had the pleasure of coordinating and curating the entertainment for that evening, 3 nights, three headliners, who would you book for your Dr. Green RX headlining music festival artist? And second part to that, what weed would you give each artist from your store?
Wow. We've had like people in the past that want to come in. For us, we try to make a goodie bag of just everything. Like I said, we don't want somebody to just fixate on one product. So we probably give them at least a few different brands. Some of the brands I mentioned earlier, Boston,
Cam,
yeah,
Blem, Canna, would you say Canna Trust?
Cannon Trust is a good brand.
Mm,
Sluggers, I mean, they're killing the game too right now.
those
Ice,
sluggers.
yeah, those are all really good. Black Pearl is a really good brand. High
Mm.
percentages infused flour.
Who's a brand that you feel is being slept on overall? I'll get back to the
Uh,
music artist. I'll let you think about the music artist. But who's a brand that you think is slept on in California?
I
Like
wouldn't say
really, really slept
slept
on.
on, but a little bit newer to Vista would probably be Lime. It's a
Okay.
really good brand,
Yeah, it's a huge
but I
brand.
think because we do have good relationship with our partners, we get good pricing. We are not trying to maximize everything. We just do everything the right way, and so I think because it's a little bit cheaper, people are less inclined to do it because they think that it's bad. But in actuality, we're just getting a good deal, and we're trying to pass that on to people. So that's something that I always tell people is like, don't sleep on this. I know you're looking at the price thinking it's probably bad because it's cheap, but it's not. It's
Lime
just
has those syrups. They've got the infused joints and
those.
blunts. I
Yes,
believe they
sir.
had vapes and edibles too.
Yes,
They
sir.
got a really solid, wide product offering, a variety of really quality items that I've tried over the years, and the product quality has also improved over the years as well, which I think is
Oh,
important.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, this last year was when we picked them up because like you said, I've been in the game for a minute, and they definitely stepped up their quality.
All right, Gio. Last question. Back to the music artist, Dr. Green RX Fest. Who you booking? Three headliners.
Man,
You
I
kind of
think
you kind of skirted the what brands would you give them question by the gift bag and the assortment. So I'll take that. But who's your artist, bro? Who's your artist?
I think that if we had to pick, the owners are really big, like fans of Fish and reggae. So I'm sure that they would pick somebody like that.
But what if they give
Snoop
you
Dogg.
one day where Geo got to pick the one day? Say
Oh,
Saturday.
easy.
What if Saturday was your
I
day?
would love to have a OGZ or
Ooh,
maybe Snoop Dogg. You know, I've met Chong, but yeah, those are some artists that I would
I
love to
like,
have.
man. I like G. How about Jeezy and Snoop and friends? That sounds like a lit
There you go.
environment for a whole Saturday.
Yes, sir. Smoking
Crazy.
good.
That would be dope. Well, Gio, bro, it's been a pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you for talking to me and just answering questions about a little bit about your story, a little bit about the brand and how it came about. Why Dr. Green RX? I guess that's my last question. What's up with the name, Dr. Green RX? Where'd that come from?
So we've been established since 2016, which was Prop 215 days back
9 years. Let's go.
sir. And 2019, we got our license. But originally, they opened up the collective to bring awareness to one of our employees who has been here since the beginning, who is in need who's in need of a liver transplant. And so that's why we're super dedicated to the medical side of it. We don't.
Mm.
That's why I feel like people come to us because we are more geared towards like ailments and things like that. Of course, we have recreational, but I feel like a lot of the customers that do come have been coming and know this. And so not only do we have the loyalty of Vista, most people just want to shop where it's locally owned and operated.
Locally owned, locally operated, medically focused, community centric, partnership driven, I think is another important one there. It's a
So
delicate balance of all these things. And I've heard over the years nothing but great things about your location and not always great things about these other locations that you are alluding to throughout the episode. But those are all just rumors, and we're not here to spread them, folks. We're just here to let you know that not everyone's perfect, but some people are working hard, doing it right. And we're here to create a platform and be a platform to share those stories. And so, you guys want to go to if you guys want to go to a chain retailer, a chain location, do that. If you want to go get best bang prices and get in and out really quick because you're on a mission, we support that. But if you want a timely experience somewhere, you can bring your fam and take your time and maybe learn, maybe make a friend that can, you can trust in your cannabis experiences. I've always had a pleasure visiting Gio and the team at Dr. Green RX. As I said, I've known him for about 3 years now, having visited in my Cure Company time and having visited and dropped samples when I was selling Respect My Region product. And it's just always a pleasure to go in there and say hello and meet people and get recommended things and to even try some things that you said. You said something about Green Pearl or Black Pearl. Never heard of them.
like
That's a
for
brand I'm immediately going to start going and asking around about because if it's good enough for Gio and your guys' menu there, it's definitely good enough anywhere. It's just a matter of if the people can curate that kind of product for them. And so,
that's right.
you know,
We're also the only ones in Vista that have the secret door, so people love that.
come on, man. Secret Door exclusive there
Yeah,
at
smoke easy.
Dr. Green RX. Be sure to tap in. What's the website for you, Gio, so people can place an online order?
Yes, we just signed up with the e-commerce for trees, so it's drgreenrx.com where you're able to place orders and pay for them online.
Let's go. drgreenrx.com. Place orders. Visit there. Learn more. Reach out. If you guys have any questions, you guys can reach out to me. I'll get you in contact with Gio. That offer does not go out to sales reps trying to drop samples off. Drive your ass down there. Set up a meeting on Gio's time and be respectful of his process. That's how that works, folks. And
So,
of course, as always, thank you to our sponsor, Infinite Chemical Analysis Labs. This, folks, was, I believe, the 4th episode of the Cannabis Testing Podcast brought to you guys by Infinite Cal. Big shout out to them for trusted testing, pesticides, potency, terpenes, heavy metals, and R&D. I love you guys. Gio, thank you again, brother. I'll let you get back to it.
no problem. Thank you. It was great. Appreciate it.